Today we are going into the topics of why and setting realistic goals for ourselves. So, why do you want to lose weight? Have you really asked yourself that question? And I don't mean on the surface, it feels like a fairly easy question to be answered. I think it's like a no-brainer response, right? Wrong. When we really sit and we think and we dig deep into why we're doing this, we could really be surprised by what comes up. Maybe you want to lose one size, or maybe you want to improve your health. Those are great reasons, but they are not our only reasons why we want to improve upon ourselves. So this is the time that I ask you to really dig deep about your why. So for me, my why, I wanted to ride on a roller coaster with my daughter without the attendant coming over to help me figure out the strap or telling me I had to leave the ride. How many of you have been in that position or that circumstance before? A, it's quite embarrassing, and B, it's like a total letdown to our children. And it is self-destructive upon our own self-esteem. I want to see her graduate high school and become an adult. I also used to be called nicknames. I had a whole theme song. I was chased up the hill when I was little. So for me, I had a goal that I wanted to be able to run up a hill without being out of breath or struggling to get there. How many of you might be able to relate to wanting to bend over to tie your shoe without being out of breath or making it a major effort to do so? I wanted to take family photos where I wasn't blocking my entire body and all you were seeing was my face. I wanted to be upfront, energetic, and have a great family photo with my daughter. And most importantly, I didn't want to feel like giving up on my life. Like this life was just too hard to live. So something interesting about our why list is it is always morphing and changing, and it continues as we continue on in our journey. So those might have been things that I started out with in my why quest, but heck, now it includes giving my number to an attractive man at the bar or something like that. And cliff diving, who would have thought? As you continue to hit small milestones, this is a living list. It's also great to journal it down, put it to paper. Think about it, reflect on it, add to it, cross things off once you've gotten there. It's a great way to set small goals, but also to look at the big picture. So being a smaller size is totally one of my whys and probably one of yours as well, but it's not my top priority. The top priority is when we start to think about all the really deep reasons into our why. The why is so much stronger than it's tangible. It also gives us something more to think about when we're at the office party and we're tempted by that second piece of cake. Not being able to ride on the roller coaster with my daughter next to me and experiencing something fun is a much deeper reason than being a size 8. Get me here? When you put meaning behind your why and you get real with yourself, you are only left with that very raw reflection. So I want you today to start reflecting on that why. There is no doubt in my mind that going over your why and thinking about it and journaling about it will bring up a lot of emotion for you and possibly even move you a little bit. So with that being said, I want to also move on to goal setting, because I think when we think about our why and we think about it in short, tangible goals as well, that's when our goal setting also comes into play. So why do we want this and how do we get there? if I'm thinking about this in the grand scheme of things, I knew that I started off my journey at 276 pounds. That 76, by the way, is like important to me. That's 6, you know, it's not like 275. It was 276, and some days it was probably 278. But I had over 100 pounds to lose. I knew that, but hearing that you have 100 pounds to lose can kind of make you feel sick. And it left me very vulnerable. It left me in a position where I was feeling paralyzed and kind of unable to move, like a deer in the headlights. So how was I going to get there? Well, that breaks this down into very simple, obtainable goals. I wasn't going to think about the 100 pounds. I knew I wasn't going to lose that in a few weeks. Heck, I wasn't going to lose it in a few months. So I needed to break that down. I had a better chance at camping out at Grand Canyon during off season than losing 100 pounds. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to chunk this down. You're going to take the baby steps in getting there, and you're going to start with maybe 5 or 10 pounds, and you're going to make it something you can do. So small, obtainable goals. Once you lose 5 to 10 pounds, you're going to reevaluate the situation. You're going to create new goals. You might even add a few more things to your why list. And when you start working out, you're going to also create those small, tangible goals. When I first started, I wasn't able to go around the neighborhood. I was barely able to walk up and down the block where I live. Going up the stairs at work was a really big chore for me. So saying that and being in the present now, I would have never thought possible that I would be able to make new obtainable goals for myself. So I wanted to be able to walk around the block without being short in my breath. And that was something that I was able to obtain by small goals. Now I'm working on bigger ones. Okay, I've completed 1 mile. Okay, if I complete 1 mile, I could complete 2 miles. And if I can complete 2, I could do 3. And all of a sudden that builds up, and I did 9 miles recently. That's something I never thought possible 5 years ago. So it's something tangible and small. You're breaking it down for the short term. We want to start there. Bye all.